You know, and now comes the question, the age-old question. I have to turn this up because I'm going to be quiet. Let's take a look and see. That's still quite quiet. Yeah, that works. As long as I don't go yelling, it should be fine. The question is, do I yap? Or, listen to Reddit stories. I mean, there was that one I was listening to last time that was pretty good. Not Reddit stories, like lo-fi type music. So I might do that. I think listening to overnight videos with haunted stuff is not the way to go for a cozy stream. Every single original creepypasta. Is that cozy? Is horror stories cozy? I think horror stories can be cozy. Ooh, I'm so sorry. My bad. Bonk the microphone. I mean, is it just audio or is it video as well? And it's video as well. Me. Let's go back to lo-fi then. I was listening to 90s chill. Like an 11-hour version. There it is. Is that too loud? That's barely fun. That's barely fun. We don't have to worry about it. My face looks very funny on that. Alright, let's look at the audio levels. Oh, there's rain sounds? I never noticed there were rain sounds. I'll turn it down a little bit. Turn it down to like halfway. That seems to be a lot better. Although, maybe a little lower. There we go. Be able to hear myself speak. Sorry. What did we talk about last time? Last time I was adding detailing to the bookcases. Don't be mad, off stream I finished texturing the bookcases while in Discord call. And I think today, well, I know today I'm gonna try finishing the windows. It's not really windows, it's there you go. It's infinity windows, so I got the idea from Hermitcraft. Because I like to watch Green, and actually I like to watch Scar, but I haven't watched his newest videos, and I really should, because he's been building a zoo on Hermitcraft, which is pretty cool. That was something that I wanted to do, because there's a lot of people who end up in like hardcore worlds, end up building like really big elaborate zoos, and it looks awesome. It looks really cool. So I have to watch him do that. Either way, my ADHD already took over. Green, that's what I was talking about. Not this Hermitcraft, but previous Hermitcraft season. He built like Diagon Alley. Server region, Netherlands. Yes, that's perfect, thank you. He built Diagon Alley. Hello. Oops, there we go. So he built Diagon Alley, and I thought it looked awesome. I really liked it. And what he did was he built a ceiling, and he made a layered glass effect to look like stars in the galaxy a bit. So it looked like it was unendless, like endless, unending, unendless. Make it seem like it was unending, and it went quite deep. And I think he did like 10 layers of glass or something. I don't do 10 layers of glass, I do 4 and call it a day, because that's all you need. But I quite like the whole space in a library vibe, which is why this build and like seeing Nerdforge building and stuff prompted me to want, I've always wanted my own at-home office, because I want to have a job that requires me to go out and work at the office, but also work at home, so hybrid working. And I want my own office, my own little desk space, and I want it to be decorated like dark academia, with like bookshelves, nice and dark blue, maybe dark green. And I want to have like blueprints framed and hanging on the wall, and I want like maybe a little bit of like painting like stars and stuff. And my grandmother moved houses somewhat recently, and she has an entire collection of really gorgeous oil paintings. And what my parents and I did is we asked if we could have them, because she wasn't able to have all of them in her new place, because she was moving from a house to an apartment because my grandfather passed away. So she wanted a smaller space for herself, because it was too much of a hassle to live in a house alone. And so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry. Hold on, let me do some math. 2, 3, yeah, that's perfect, okay. So as I was saying, she moved houses, and she had some paintings that she couldn't take with her, even though she really likes them. So she took her favorite ones with her. And my parents and I, we were allowed to take the others. And my parents got most of them. There was one specific one that I liked more than all the others. And my grandmother was like, well, if you want, you can have that one as yours, completely just yours. And my parents were like, yeah, if you want that, we can keep it in the attic for you, and keep it like wrapped up and sealed and protected. Do I have Fulbright? No, I have high contrast. Yes, that's an X-ray pack. I used it for something. I don't remember what. No, I do not X-ray for ore. I'm the kind of nutsack that would dig out an entire space. So I like mining. Let me download Fulbright, because this gets quite hard to build in. Is it resources? No, it's not. Where's the one where you could build your own? I don't remember what it was. Sorry, that was a really loud sneeze. Was a website I used before, and it was perfect. Vanilla Tweaks, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. Let's scroll all the way down to utility, and let's get some Fulbright downloaded. Nice. was like, holy fuck, there's someone in my house, I'm gonna die. My fight or flight got activated. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Let's shift delete that. Options, resource packs, open pack folder. Again, don't mind the X-ray thing. I'm actually gonna delete that. I don't think I need it anymore. Oop. And let's plop this in here. I actually need to play some modded Minecraft again. Alright, there we go. Because otherwise it's a very big pain to just build this area. Right, so as I was saying, paintings. My grandmother moved out. She had a set of really, really pretty oil paintings. And my parents really liked them, so they got to have them. But there was one painting that I liked a lot. And my grandmother was like, yeah, you can have that if you want it. And my parents said, yeah, you can take it and we'll keep it safe in the attic until you move out. And this oil painting is like really, really dark and moody. But it's like of the ocean at night when it's like somewhat turbulent, the water. And it's so fucking pretty. It's so cool, but it would look so good in like a dark academia type office. So I want to do that. And like for the blueprints, I was debating between like telescope blueprints, satellite blueprints, maybe space station blueprints, or blueprints of like my own designs, because I have to make technical drawings and blueprints for my stuff that I make. But that depends on what job I end up getting, if I do end up getting to work for that one company that makes airplane parts and spaceship parts. I would like to have a blueprint of that in my room. That would be fantastic. So we'll see what happens. I feel like I started somewhere completely right here. This library inspired me to want like a dark academia style thing. Right, so last time I talked about is this too deep? 1, 2, 3. Is it 4 layers? Has it always been 4 layers? Oh, it's been 4 layers from here. Was that on purpose? I feel like I've made a mistake here somewhere. Pardon me. Let's go here. The original one, you know. 4. Okay, no, that's always been the case. Which means... Let's take a look and see. There's zombies in my wall. Guys. Come on. Guys. Could you... Could you not? That's so rude, man. You know what? That's already a good shot to put those in there. So what was I saying before I got so rudely interrupted? Right, gloss on sure, 4 layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I went in 1 too deep. I'm gonna say fuck it and not worry about that. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say fuck it and not worry about that and just have the extra glass layer. It has been a while since I've done these windows, which honestly, rightfully so, because these windows drove me insane at some point. So last time I built the detailing on the outside of the bookshelves, which is these things, and off camera, I think, look at this quick parkour. 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 3, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay. And up, glass, glass, glass. No, okay, it's one more. Yeah, so glass, glass, glass. 2, 3, 4, yep, okay. That should be it. And I blabbed about my future with the building, what I still have to do for the library. My future in general, where I was unsure if I was going to work or study, I have an answer for that one. Which is, I'm looking for work currently. I'm looking to see if there's any interesting jobs, and if there's nothing of interest in the sectors I want to work in, which is I would really like to continue on in the medical sector or in the aerospace engineering sector. Then I will do a master's in industrial engineering. The thing is, I really don't want to study anymore. I'm really tired of studying. I was thinking, my friends came over, and one of them slept over, and I was helping her decide, because her parents were pushing her to make a list of masters that she wants to do, and like to email, because school starts in I think less than a month, in about 3 weeks. Fuck. And she was stressing about which ones, and I was helping her look. And I was thinking to myself, man, I'm really not looking forward to doing more exams, worrying about passing or not, feeling stressed. The fact that I only have enough study points, which is the system here in Belgium, is you start with a set amount of study points. Each year you study, you spend the points, you get them back if you pass everything. I had a bad track record with one of the courses I started out with. AK, I did my best and it just killed me. Where I ended up losing quite a bit of study points to the point that I now have enough study points to, luckily, still do... Don't giggle at that, you bitch. To do 1 year at a time. And I already know if I have any retakes, or if I retakes are fine, but if I fail any courses, I will not continue studying, I'll just go to work. But I'm also the type of person who doesn't like just going, fuck, I've not succeeded, I shall give up. I firmly want to try again and again until I get it, which was really bad mentality for like the first course I ever did, because that completely destroyed me and put me in a burnout. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. Stop giggling, you absolute bitch. Yep, okay, that's correct. So, I'm just a tiny bit stressed about thinking about going back to studying, and it's not just that. It's the fact that I've been doing everything in English. I've like completed my degree now, my bachelor in English, and this is gonna be completely in Dutch. I had a math assessment the other day to see how much of my basic math from high school I still remember that I need for a master's in industrial engineering. And I sat down at the exam, and it was in the same campus where I always did my theory exams, And like you had these kiddos of like freshly graduated out of high school, ready to do a bachelor in industrial engineering, all stressed about whether they're gonna make it or not. For me, it wasn't mandatory. I just did it for the sake of I can do it. It's free to do. I will do it because I want to know how much I have to brush up on. I ended up studying for it for a little while, anyways, to like refresh because I haven't done high school math in about 7 years. I've done physics and stuff due to uni, but it was interesting to like. I've never seen integrals before or derivatives, and that was a whole can of worms to open up and study. So I like self-taught it. I watched a bunch of videos. I did a lot of exercises. I was able to solve it, but either way, that's not the point. I'm getting ahead of myself again. I was sitting in the exam hall, and I was doing the exam, and I was like, man, I did not miss this. I did not miss it. Like it was fun. I like math. It's fun. Math is fun. I'm a nerd, but my fucking god. Sitting there, everyone's stressed around you. If I'm figuring something out, my leg bounces. Luckily, it's like sturdy tables, so no one feels if my leg is like jiggling back and forth. But like, it's not fun. I'm getting the results for that sometime this week. I've also been working this week. I only had to work yesterday. That's the only day I was booked in for, but today they asked if I was going to be available for Friday, and I said yeah, of course. I want to earn some money. I have fun doing it too. So I've been doing that. Next week I'm booked for 4 out of 5 days, so I get to earn a decent amount, which I'm happy about, because I'll put a lot of it to the side for my vacations. And honestly, like if I earn money, I don't need anything. I have everything I need. There's nothing I've been like, maybe updating my PC would be interesting, but because it's from like 2019, but it's not, I don't need to. So I tend to like, any money I earn or I get, I just put it into my savings, because I'm gonna use it for like vacation or trips, or if I want to go out with friends and do something special. Because I didn't work last year, so it's running a little bit low from the London vacation. So I'm really looking forward to having a little bit of money in there, because next year my online friends are coming here, so we can like go to the amusement park. We can maybe go to the gardens and stuff like that. Have a good time. And I'm not gonna have to worry about money and stuff like that. Last stream, I think I talked a tiny bit about Buildcraft, which is where people are like animating their redstone and their bases and like builds they make using redstone to make it seem more alive. And I really wanna do that, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of reference gathering to see what I can do, because I already have like a few secret rooms planned for this library. I don't think I'm gonna include anything Buildcraft related. What Buildcraft stuff can I do here? Nothing really. It's all quite static. I'm so changing that floor. I hate it so much. I don't know why I decided that was a good design for the floor, but it really is not. Actually, I want to put this one up here. No, that's too uneven. So yeah, this entire stream is just gonna be me putting in these things. Hopefully until it's done. But we'll see. I think I'll give myself the cutoff time of 1:30. So we have another hour and a half until we get there. I have water next to me for hydration. I don't have any snacks because I had dinner not too long ago. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so what more recent stuff have I been doing? I watched the Perseid Meteor Shower, which was an absolute gem to behold. Saw some really good fireballs, saw some with like colored trails, like green and blue, which was really cool. Also saw some satellites and the space station, which, yes, you can see with the naked eye, and I find that awesome. I've been playing a lot of guitar again lately. I've been learning some more songs recently. I've been learning I've already learned it because it's an easier one. Yellow from Coldplay. I've been working in about, not next week, but the week after that, my dog is coming home for about 10 days because my parents are going on a wedding anniversary trip to Italy because they've been together for 25 years, which is really nice. Right, there is a fox lost somewhere in my storage system. I'm gonna sit crisscross applesauce. My knees are starting to ache because this chair just does that. I really need to fix that. This is like the 1,000,001th time I've said it, and I still haven't done it. I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, they've been together for 25 years, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna have my old lady for 10 days. And I have a lot of friends who are coming specifically just to say hello to Bailey. I find that really adorable that she has so many fans. I'm going to a Conjuring movie marathon next week as well, which I'm really looking forward to because there's the new one coming out, and it's going to be the avant premiere of what's the newest movie called? Lost Rights. There we go. The Conjuring Lost Rights. And I'm really excited for that because it was like €50 for a ticket, but it's inclusive snacks and it's every single Conjuring movie. Not the Conjuring universe, but Conjuring movies. So you have the Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, The Devil Made Me Do It, and then it's Lost Rights, which I'm really excited about. I've always been a fan of like horror movies. Horror movies do freak me out quite a bit, but it really depends on the genre. Because you have like slasher movies, and if it's slasher movies, it's just people. It's just people stabbing other people. You can kill a person if they try to kill you. Don't like that there was a thunk in my house when I said that. But you can kill other people if they try to kill you, and there's no issue. But like demons and ghosts and shit, how do you fight that? You call an exorcist, but like 99% of the time, surely exorcists can like do things, but what if they can't? Then you're just screwed. Then you're like royally fucked. Hell, you might even get the exorcist killed, and then what are you gonna do? So yeah, but my imagination is always worse than the movies, because I'd be fine after watching, but it's only like when it's late at night and I'm in bed and my room's dark and there's no one home because I live alone, and it's just What if I open my eyes right now and there's just something in the corner of my room staring at me? What the fuck do I do about that? And it's awful. So I love horror movies. I hate watching them. I don't know. I love watching them, but I'm terrified watching them. I'm a chicken. That's why I can't play like horror games either, because the anticipation of what will happen is like worse than what will actually happen. But that's why I also like playing horror games. I think I'm just an adrenaline junkie, and like horror gives me a specific type of adrenaline that's like a bit addictive. I'll have to see. I don't know how my brain works, but that seems to be the most logical explanation for that. That's why in the past I didn't watch many horror movies. I didn't like them enough at that point. But what I did love to watch, and this could be very silly, is Markiplier playing horror games. And like PewDiePie, old school, right? Amnesia PewDiePie? Holy shit, that's long ago. But I used to love watching that, because that was a good way to like me getting spooked without being too scared about it. And I remember vividly, I would come home from school and my mom and dad would both be working too. And I was supposed to be doing homework when I get home, right? You have like a snack, you sit down for a few minutes, you take your dog out for a walk, and then you start studying. I didn't do that. I sat down with my snack, I took my dog out for a walk, I gave her food, and then I think, did we have Apple TV at that point? Was it YouTube on the TV? I don't know, I can't remember. I remember at one point I managed to crack the password on my dad's iPad because I could do something with it. It wasn't play games, I think it was to watch Markiplier, and then I could like cast it to the TV or something. Instead of doing my homework, I would like cast it to the TV and watch Markiplier play FNAF. It was horrible. I really should not have been doing that because my grades were horrible at those points. But to be fair, there was a lot going on in school and I was just depressed. that brought me a little bit of joy. That and I think I was a Tumblr kid starting age 13, 14. When I got my first smartphone, I used to have like a really old Nokia phone. I think from like my first year of high school, and then my second year of high school, I had it was in my third year. No, it was my second year of high school. I had a smartphone. I can't remember which one it was. I remember I broke my Nokia phone though. I got really mad and I chucked it and it broke. No, I don't know how I did that. Yes, it scared me. Yes, it still scares me. But that was like, I was a bad student, and I would get grounded because not because I disrupted class, but just because I didn't hand in my fucking assignments. It's stupid, and I'd whack myself if I could like talk to my teenage self. Either way, if I got bad grades, I got grounded. If I was caught up at night reading something online, because I think that's also when I started getting into like fan fiction and stuff. And I was also reading books in like the middle of the night and playing on my DS in the middle of the night, which is apparently a shared experience with a lot of people. Either way, whenever I got caught doing stuff like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whenever I got caught doing stuff like that, my punishment would always be your phone taken. Here, use your old Nokia phone. So I think it was at one of those points that I ended up breaking the phone. that, I don't remember much from when I was a teenager. I remember enjoying PE. I remember my math teacher sometimes used to chuck chalk at your head if you weren't paying attention. I think even one time he took the blackboard eraser and chucked it at someone, which wasn't cool, but it was a sponge type thing, so it didn't really hurt. My biology teacher would teach us sex ed, and I think I got sex ed from her twice. And it's funny because every time she just chucks a wet tampon and it sticks to the ceiling. I don't remember why she does it, but it helped me remember everything from sex ed because of that. That's probably why she did it. And if you look up in that classroom, you can see a bunch of tampons stuck to the ceiling. Apparently she's retired a few years ago, which I'm really sad about because the kids will never have that joy. I also remember not being good at French, but there was one French class where the song Sensualité was played and we had to learn how to sing it, and all the guys loved the song. And there was one specific kid called Bert, and he was the class comedian, right? And he would do this baroque, let's say it, to censor it, type dance whenever that song was being sung in class. It was real funny. I remember the layout of campus. I remember spending my lunch breaks playing music in a music room with one of my friends. I would be playing guitar, but at that point I was actually better at drums than I was at guitar. And my friend, I didn't own any drumsticks, but my friend did, but she didn't own a drum set. But she would bring the drumsticks specifically for me, so I could, she would play piano or guitar, and I would rock out on the drums with her. One of the things about that high school was that we would alternate every year. So the first year you have art classes, the second year you have music, the third year you have art again. So it switches between the two. I really enjoyed both. I liked the creative things, and I think from the second year onwards, I always played at the info days. Or sang actually, rather, because I was singing something I enjoyed. But I had massive stage fright, so I remember everyone in my class would be okay, you come up front, you sing. It was also a way for them to get out of having to do that for longer. But they were enthusiastic about it, which was really nice. And then one of those performances ended up on YouTube. And they found out, and my physics teacher found out actually, because she was saying I did a good job, and she's didn't they film it? Is it somewhere on YouTube? But I was yeah, it's on YouTube. And she was okay, great, we shall watch it in class. They were really supportive. It was an odd bunch, but they were never mean, which was really nice. They were actually really nice. There's not a lot of people from my high school that I actually hated. One or quite a few from the older years because they were bullies. Not to me, but to my friend. And then there was that one bitch I was friends with, but I still question why I stayed friends with her as long as I did. But high school in Belgium was chill-ish. I was miserable, but it was chill. And then I moved to Singapore, and I enjoy that so much more. Because everyone in school in Belgium grew up together, and everyone kind of knew each other. So, all of a sudden being the new kid in there, it was kind of hard to slot yourself in with people. Especially since then Belgium's gotten a little bit better with it, but at that point they were quite close-minded. So it was also hard. It was an adjustment for me too, because I always went to like international schools. And I did everything in English, which was also a big switch, because I went from English to Dutch. And my dad said we would be staying there until I graduated high school, because they wanted me to have a stable place to live for my teenage years to make it easier. So glad that changed, because I was miserable. And my dad was like, hey, and my mom was miserable too. She did not like Belgium at that point. She likes it more now because she's managed to like build a little network and she's found something she likes to do. And she has friends she can hang out with and stuff like that. But back then, my mom and I were both miserable, and I was making it worse for my parents because I wasn't performing well in school. So they were stressed, they were miserable. It's a wonder they managed to like put up with me. So my dad was like, hey, I got a job opportunity in Singapore, and the company has a contract there. Do you guys want to move? And I just went, yes. Yes, I want to move. And they showed me the school virtually, and I had to get good grades for that, and I managed to get good enough grades to go there, and I was happy about that. And it was a world of difference. It was so much more open-minded. It was so chill. Everyone was nice. Everything was in English again. I learned about anime, much to my friend's regrets. She's the one who introduced me. She's the one who regretted it the most because I got addicted, and that's when I learned what hyperfixations could be. I already had it in Belgium where I hyperfixated on like Austin and Ali. I didn't realize what it was until I was there. And then I hyperfixated on the first anime I've ever watched, and my friend was like, fuck, I've created a monster. And I've created one monster once. I talked about it last stream too. And I wouldn't say I have regrets. I'm more amused than anything, but other people have regrets that I introduced them to it. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, no, I watched The Gray Man for the first time, which is apparently a lesser known anime, but I don't know why she introduced that one to me first. I think it was because a new season was coming out and she was excited about it, and I got curious. So I was like, hey, what is it about? So she started telling me. She was like, do you want to see the trailer? It's really cool. I was like, yeah, I want to see the trailer, and we watched it in class together. And I was like, holy fuck, this looks awesome. She's like, yeah, like you should watch it. You can find it on this website. I think it was Kiss Anime. And I binged watched it, and I was obsessed. And it was like the only thing I would talk about for like a few weeks. My friend was like, oh god, what have I done? But she did share my enthusiasm. She was a real one for that. And then I started watching like other animes. I think I watched Naruto right after that. Filler episodes and everything, and I also got obsessed with that one. But not as much as I did with The Gray Man. And to this day, The Gray Man still stays one of my favorite ones I've ever watched. I think the favorite one I've ever watched. Although Dan Da Dan is quite good so far. I've been really enjoying it, and the manga has also been pretty good. Although the slow burn is so slow, but I really love good slow burn. Meanwhile, The Gray Man is just me shipping the main character. I used to ship the main character with another character, but it quickly became I want the main character to be shipped. Like, I ship the main character with like a warm meal and some hugs and just some peace and quiet. That's how bad it got. Like, I don't ship him with anyone anymore. I just want him to be happy. And the manga updates like once every 3 months, which means you get like 4 chapters a year, which is still not The worst. I'll take what I can get. The art is gorgeous. So I like forget to read it for a year and I come back to it. I have like 4 new chapters I can catch up on, which I'm happy about. And I think that my catch up was recent, so I don't really keep up with many mangas to this day. I am probably because the ones I was catching up on finished, because I was keeping up on. I read the entirety of Boku no Hero Academia. I read the entirety of Noragami, and I'm still. My friend and I recently looked back on it because he watched the anime with me and he liked it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, look, these cuties. Look at him. Why is the texture different? Look at him. He's just hanging. You're so cute. Okay, sorry. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 is here. Hey, Zombo. What was I saying? Right, yeah, so Noragami. Because we've been watching Dandadan together, and he's like, why are you obsessed with... He's like, I'm used to, aren't you... Don't you read a lot of manga where it's like a lot of pain and suffering? I was like, no, I like the fluffy stuff too, you know? But yeah, I think every even the fluffy manga has to have some angst for like a plot line, right? How else are you gonna have the characters develop? So we were talking about the fact that we had watched Noragami, and that has been a while, and I asked him if he had ever read the manga. I said no, but he doesn't care about spoilers, so I explained the ending to him, and he's like, I'm sorry, they what? Because it's an open ending. It's not an open ending, it's been concluded, but you can imagine more if you wish. That's all I'm keeping it to. And I remembered, and now I'm just like, right. So I had like reread the ending of that manga, and I just so I've resulted to fanfiction for like a continuation, I'd call it, not closure, because it is done. No, I'll call it closure. It is done. It has a proper ending. So I'd read Noragami, I'd read Boku no Hero Academia, something else that I genuinely cannot remember at this point. And the only manga I was keeping up with, Yona of Dawn, but I just forgot, which means that at some point I'm gonna have to reread that because I really enjoyed the relationship between Huck and Yona. So I kinda have to read and see what the hell happening there. And then the Grey Man I caught up with again recently, and this manga has been going since 2005. They finally answered some long asked questions, and I was so thrilled about it. But it does not look good for the main character. It has not been looking good for the main character for the last 100 and something chapters, and that's bad. I'm trying to remember what other manga I've caught up on. Ooh, sorry. I know I have like a decent list of. Should I build the book nooks already? Or should I wait until later? I'll just continue, and then if I have time I'll make the book nooks. 2, 3. No, I can't think of any. It's definitely been quite a few. I do recall reading quite a few. And I have watched quite a lot of anime. And I frankly don't remember like the majority of what I've watched. The Grey Man was the first one, and I think Sword Art Online and Naruto followed. Tokyo Ghoul was also one of the first ones. Oh, holy shit, yeah, I also used to watch like two TV shows, cartoons, when I was younger. And one of them is still going to this fucking day, and it's driving me insane, and that's Miraculous Ladybug. And it's a French show I like to watch. I haven't watched it in quite a while now, but I should really just binge watch and catch up on what the fuck's been happening. And I also used to watch Star vs. the Forces of Evil, which also ended, I think, before I graduated high school. But yeah. Oh, but my friend and I have been watching Dandadan. And if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's you know those typical anime tropes that people hate? They take those and make them good, which I'm really jazzed about. Like, they do it really well. And there's like, for the newest season, there are music scenes in the manga that I didn't know. Like when you're reading it, it's a bit lackluster because it's music scenes that you're reading. You can't really get a full feel for it. So I was really excited about the fact that some of those scenes were being animated this season. And I'm telling you, they smashed it. They knocked it out of the park. It was insane. Like, I got goosebumps, and I was just having an absolute grand time watching it. So I'm really glad they managed to deliver on the music scenes. Oh, I read Given. That's one of the mangas I read. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Good lord. Alright, so after all the windows are placed in, it will be up to well, it will be the reading nooks next. Those little empty gaps I've left in the bookshelves, those also need to be filled in with, I think I'll stick with the ocean idea. That's it, right? Oh, there's another layer. And then it's like the final walls up by the viewing platform area. And then it's just time for Ila. What? Why is the wool here gone? No, it was green wool. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was green. Hurt? What the? Okay. We're not gonna worry about that. Oh, it's Fulbright breaking because of certain things. I don't know what specifically is breaking the Fulbright. I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. Yes, that's a mining tunnel that someone's made before I started building in this area. You're not good. Why are you gone again? Christ on a cracker. It's because there's like lava in this area. It doesn't make any sense though. There's no lava in the near vicinity of it. So, about what I said. I apologize. I was frankly very mistaken. Very, very mistaken. Very, very, very mistaken. I thought there was none. I was wrong. Whoopsie daisies. Hopefully that filled up enough where I won't have to worry about the lava destroying any of the wool again. Probably will, but then I at least know what caused it. You're taking out pieces of my wall again, guys. You know that's rude, right? I have to make like self-healing walls. Oh. Apparently the 4th floor of my library is in a slime chunk. That's fun. Nothing I'm not used to. The entire bottom two floors of my storage system are also in slime chunk. It is what it is. Yeah, but I think I'm only gonna place the windows in and then call it a night on Minecraft. And I'd like to say I'm gonna go straight to bed when I'm done, but that's a massive fucking lie, because I'm gonna play Stardew. And then I'm gonna knock out, and when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna eat some breakfast and go to the gym. I'm gonna come back home and I'm gonna work on my portfolio, because I have to update it. I need to put in my grad work in there to show that I'm very good at technical challenges. You want to hire me? Hire me, please. No. I've been playing Stardew again lately, and it's been a lot of fun because I played with Alex, Thalia, and May for not the entirety of the full year, but a good bit of the first year. And that was fun, but we never explored any further than that, and I wanted to for like the new update, you know. And so I've been doing that, and I'm currently at winter of my 2nd year, and the events are different too. Like normally when you're playing it, all the events are the same, everyone's always at the same spots, but they've actually changed that around. I don't know if it's going to alternate like year 1, year 2 type events, but it's been quite fun. Also added like mastery to your skills, so even if you get like max level in fishing, farming, mining, you're still allowed to go further than that. So you can get like additional upgrades that unlocks like statues of blessing, crafting recipes, stuff like that. And it's been really nice. And I thought I thought for like Stardew I was gonna do what I usually do, where it's just like, pick one bachelor at the beginning, or bachelorette, and I pursue them. Currently I just have an equal standing with everyone, and it's been like fun to... I don't think I've ever seen like maximum... Do you still get like... Is it 8 heart events with people after you've married someone? Either way, there's like a bunch of like 8 heart events I hadn't seen yet that I'm seeing now, and it's been really fun. And there's like a Stardew Valley fair that happens in fall, where you have to like play fair games, win tokens, get rewards. And there's like an oracle you can go to and get your fortune read. And she was like, oh my, you've been messing around with a bunch of the singles in town, haven't you? And I'm like, wait, no, this isn't a game I'm playing, I'm just being friends with everyone and then seeing from there. And she's like, you're gonna leave a lot of hearts broken. I'm like, wait, that's not my intention. It's not like I'm gonna give all of them a bouquet and be like, yo, date me. And then carry a rabbit's foot so I don't get into trouble for it. I had a save where I was gonna do that, and it was called Rizzler's Farm, and my favorite thing was rizzing. I deleted that save recently because I wasn't gonna play on it anymore, but it's so funny. I thought, yo, you know what would be great if I just did that? No. Tomorrow I'll work on the portfolio, and when we're done with everything, I'll look through job site and see if there's anything interesting, and then I'll probably end up playing Stardew again. Although I played a little bit of Valorant today. I had a lot of fun with that, and I was like, I wouldn't mind playing Valorant again. So I might do that tomorrow evening, we'll see. Because I don't have work on Thursday, I have work on Friday. So if I want to stay up a little later, I can. Although, to be fair... Sorry. Oh man. I worked yesterday, and I was exhausted when I came back because I'm on my feet for like 8 hours of the day. And I was up since 6 a.m. because it's all the way in the town. It's like an hour and 45-minute drive, 2-hour drive away. So I had to wake up at 6 so we could make it there in time. Especially since there's like roadworks currently going on. So I was up at 6. We got to work at about 8:30. Work officially starts at 9, and then it was walking back and forth until 1, then an hour lunch break, and then it was back to work from 2 till 6. And I did like a total of 13,000 steps more. I did a lot of steps. But I didn't go up and down any stairs, I didn't go outside or anything, that was all just from walking back and forth inside, from room to room. So I got home, like we finished at 6. My neighbor and I left because she works there, I ride with her since we live on the same street. And I'm so glad I'm not driving. She was driving and I just kind of fell asleep in the car for a bit. And we got home at 7:30. And I changed to like sweatpants and a shirt. Because I had on formal clothing, so I had on dress pants and some nice shoes and a button down, and I was like, no, I need to take this off, I need to get comfy. And I laid down. I was upstairs getting changed. I hear my phone buzzing because my parents call me every night. So I have my call with my parents. We chat about our days, and then I hang up. I eat some dinner, and I'm like on the couch. I think I was playing Stardew at that point, or I was reading. No, I played Stardew yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I'll stay up and I'll play some Stardew. But I did end up like, nah, I didn't play any Stardew. I had dinner, 2, 3. I watched The Summer That Hikaru Died, the newest episode of that. I watched High School Musical 2, right? One of my friends was talking about it recently, and we'd watched High School Musical 1 together because it'd been like, it's a blast from the past. We hadn't watched it in years. And High School Musical 2 is, in my personal opinion, the best one, so I decided to watch that one because we'd watched the first one recently. And after that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go shower and like play some Stardew in bed. And I played 2 days of Stardew and I just passed out. Like, I put away my laptop because I was like, oh, I'm feeling really tired, I'm gonna go to sleep. And I passed out. And I wake up and it's 2 in the afternoon. And I'm like, holy fuck, what happened? Turns out I have not been letting my body rest. So, my body went, hey, we don't have an alarm set and you're tired, so we're gonna make you sleep. Hence why I said, when I wake up in the morning, I don't know what time I'm gonna be waking up, but the moment I wake up, I'm gonna get dressed, have some breakfast, and head off to the gym, because that's just what I've been doing. I don't plan in my times of the gym. My gym is just the moment after I wake up and eat something, because you need food. I go. And I do that 3 times a week, and the other 3 times a week I cycle, and that's usually in the afternoon. Although sometimes if I wake up early enough in the morning, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it in the morning so I can just chill out the entire afternoon. It's still technically summer vacation. So I've just been doing that. I wanna get them gains, man. I'm looking forward to doing that tomorrow. But I'm also just, I'm having fun now, and I'm looking forward to playing some Stardew tonight. Maybe reading a bit more, because I tend to read almost every day. No, it's not books, it's fanfiction. Mind you, there are some fanfiction that is like 10 times better written than books, so I'll take it. Plus you use a lot of energy to like learn a new universe and learn new characters. That is just nice to like read about something you're familiar people, familiar dynamics, stuff like that. I think I'm gonna expose myself here. Not that I haven't been doing so already. The first fanfiction I've ever read, I think, was of Austin Alley. No, fuck off out of my cozy stream. Stop trying to sell me stuff. Goodbye. God damn. As I was saying, it was Austin Alley. And I think that was the first time I actually like properly started shipping people before. And I started off on Wattpad. And I've also written an original story on Wattpad when I was young. And to this day I still have people commenting asking for more, but I left it on an open ending. And they're just gonna have to deal with that. So I was on Wattpad first. And then I think it was when I hit D Grey Man. where I looked on Wattpad and there was almost nothing. So I started looking for more fanfiction sites, and I was on Tumblr at that point. So Tumblr was like, okay, so there's fanfiction on Tumblr that you can read. Not a lot, not easy to find, but you can find it. And then it introduced me to fanfiction.net, which I also ended up started reading, and I read all the Greyman fanfiction because there's not a lot. It's like the point where you're tempted to write your own, but I also just don't want to write fanfiction. I've been tempted again somewhat recently because I thought of like a Phantom of the Opera alternate universe for a ship I quite enjoy. And it doesn't exist yet. And I thought, oh, I know exactly how to write this, but I'm too self-conscious still. I will reach a point where I'm like, fuck it, I can't, I need to write this. And then I will write it, and then my fate is sealed. But for now, I want to reach that point, but with art. I've never made fan art. No, that's a lie. I've done Welcome to Night Vale fan art, which, oof, that's a blast from the past. I don't know if you've ever heard of Welcome to Night Vale. I think it's a podcast, and it's an old one, and it's about this radio host talking about this place called Night Vale. And it's like a town in the US where a lot of weird ass shit happens, and he talks about it each time. And outsider comes in to live there called Carlos. I don't know why I said it with that fucking accent. Either way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the radio host ends up having a bit of a passion on him, but I wanted to draw the radio host, and that was also at the point where I was drawing with the trackpad. I hadn't learned how to draw with a tablet yet. I didn't get a tablet until I was like 17. And that was the first piece of fan art I ever drew. And I also drew like one piece of D. Greyman fan art, and I drew like an art piece of my friend's merge character from D. Greyman as well for her birthday. It took like 100 and something layers, also all with a trackpad. I wanted to cry. So I have done fan art, but no, what I've been wanting to do was make Good Omens fan art, and hence why that animation came into play. And honestly, fuck, I should really continue on that animation, but I also need to make sure that my portfolio is updated. So like priorities. The moment I'm finishing with updating my portfolio, which actually quite a lot needs to be updated, I need to delete I think 2 or 3 projects out of there. I have to see how many projects is a good amount for a portfolio, because I want to add 3 to it. I want to delete the forum project. Actually, the blocks, you know what, I might just have the news 3 as my project. Although the walking stick is quite nice too. The walking stick I'll add as well. The projects I want to include. I also want to completely like change the style of my portfolio, because it looks very high school yearbookish now. And like the design was made in my first year of university, of this course, not in general. And my designing has matured, and so has the style a bit, so I have to make it fit what it is now. And the projects I want to include are a walking stick I designed and made. That was for my grandmother. And it has like dried flowers in the handle. The handle was made out of resin, by the way, so it has it meticulously poured every single layer, and thin layers to make sure there's no like warping between layers or discoloration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I made that walking stick, and it's like fine layers of resin. And between each layer I did in each layer I did some dried flowers and some gold flakes, and I had a template of the handle shape underneath the plexiglass that I was using as a box for the resin handle. So I knew where to place the flower, so it was meticulously hand placed, every part of it. And then it was cut out in school. Had its edges rounded by a rounding bit. And polished by hand, and then with an additional thin layer of resin to coat it, to make it perfectly clear. And I used some construction wood for the handle, for the stick, so that it's as sturdy as it can be. And I stained it like a little bit of this orangey, darker brown. It was really pretty. And I put like a little rubber foot on the bottom that you can like buy online, specifically for walking sticks and canes. And I made like a little metal bar that hides the seam between the handle and the stick. And honestly, it's a gorgeous piece of work, and I'm very proud of that. When I originally built it, it was built to ergonomic size because the class was ergonomics and form. I had to 100% make sure that the ergonomics were correct, or else they would dock points. And I had to do ergonomic calculations and everything for it, so I'm going to put that in there because that shows off that I think about ergonomics and form. Especially with the handle, I had to calculate the diameter of that, the form, the shape, how does it sit while you're on your hand, carve prototypes out of foam, feel them, see what you like, see what design is pretty and works with your target audience. So that's the first project I want to put in there. Next project I want to put in there is a monster truck that I designed with 2 other people, although I'm going to say 1 other people because one of those people did not work. He tried making right, okay, so from the beginning, this monster truck had to be designed completely from scratch. A remote control monster truck. You were allowed to use electronics from an existing monster truck, but you had to design the suspensions of the truck yourself, the frame, the roll cage where the electronics sit, and the shell of it. 1, 2, 3. So, my friend did the front suspensions, and the other teammate did the back suspensions, and I did all the parts connecting everything to each other. So I had to make sure that the front suspension had a place to sit, the back suspension had a place to sit, and that the electronics had a nice little nook and stuff like that, right? Which I think I did the most easiest part, because the suspensions are tricky to design. So my friend designed the front suspensions. We found some existing models of like suspensions you could 3D print and stuff like that, and we not modified, but we took inspiration out of that and made our own version that worked better. We also did research and stuff like that, of course, to make sure. And the back suspensions, that guy was supposed to design, and he kept designing it, and he kept designing it, and it kept not working, and it kept making tweaks. And he's like, no, it's gonna work, but we need it to work already, but it never ended up working. It's 5 days before the exam is due. He's still not fixed the back suspensions. They're still not working. The front suspensions are working perfectly. The base frame where everything sits on has been designed. The wheels had been designed. The hubcaps had been designed. I designed them. They could click into place. They could hold on to the electronics and stuff like that. Everything was set, but he still had not finished the fucking back suspensions. At this point, I also designed the shell of the monster truck. So, and this is also one of the reasons why I want to put it in the portfolio. It shows like impeccable teamwork, but also like integration of technology into a pretty design. Stability, I had to do force calculations to then like adjust the shape so that I can make it have the minimal amount of material necessary, but the right amount of stability. So that's all stuff you want to show off in a portfolio. And I wanted to show off like the fact that I in 3D sculpted the entire fucking shell. So my teammate, my friend, she wanted a cow themed monster truck, and my friend, not my friend, the other guy, the teammate, he wanted a zombie. So I said, okay, well, would it be okay for both of you if I combine both of them? And they were like, can you do that? I said, yeah, I can definitely do that. Zombie guy wanted something really gory, and I heard him talking shit behind our backs, like after the exam. Because everyone was saying, oh fuck, the shell looks so cool, it looks awesome, it's the only monster truck that looked like an actual monster truck. All the rest had like sports car exterior, stuff like that, right? And he was like, yeah, but I could have done it better. I could have made made it look like it was losing more skin, like really zombie-esque. What I did was I sculpted, I'm telling you again, sculpted completely by hand in 3D. I sculpted a skull, a cow skull, a bull skull actually. I sculpted the body, the muscles in. I had like places where the skin was worn down and you can see the muscle underneath it. There's like a gap by the ribs where the skin is completely gone and you can see the ribs, so you can like see through the cow and stuff like that. I was really proud of it. It looked like a zombie cow. It was really cool. And we put like a little red LED behind the eye sockets of the skull, and put like a little bit of white masking tape on the eye sockets so that it would like make the red LED. There's a word. Diffuse. So it would diffuse the red LED so that it looks like it's glowing red eyes. It looked really cool. And he was shit talking it. I really want to punch the guy. Either way, so it's 5 days before the exam is due. The back suspensions still aren't working. Saya and I are freaking out because this needs to be done in 5 days, and the presentation also needs to be done, but we need pictures for the presentation, and for pictures you need the final product. So we were like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? So we made an agreement, and this is the most fun I've ever had in a groups project, and it's Saya and I hanging out for 5 days straight, prototyping and making and adjusting and building. It was so much fun. So we had an exam on the Friday. Was it 5 days? 4 days, my bad. No, 5 days. No, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, 4 days. Tuesday was then the exam. So we had Friday, 1, 2, 3. Friday we had that exam, which ended up going great. It was a smart socket device that you had to make, so it had to be a device you made that can go into an electrical socket. Read solar panel values and then adjust the energy input into the house according to that, and it was a lot of fun to do. So right after that exam, she gets in the car with me. We drive to her place because she has a workshop at home, and that's when it starts. So we're sitting there, we're annoyed that Ensemble, I just said his name anyway, that he that he didn't, like, the back suspensions weren't working, and so we had asked him if he could come by in the weekend to like help us finish it, and he's like, no, sorry, I have to take care of my friend, he's sick, he doesn't have anyone else that can take care of him. And we were like, okay, you know what, fair enough, it sucks, but fine. So that same night that same night we start adjusting the suspensions and making everything. And it's the day after where we finally print a set and it works perfectly. No, wait, shit, no. I 3D modeled them that night. I 3D modeled them, I adjusted them. We printed it, we tested it, and it worked perfectly. And then we went to bed. It was like 8 a.m. by the time we were done. And we went to bed and it worked perfectly. And we're like, God damn, how did it take? Like, there was no, like, it wasn't even based on any of his prior adjustments. His prior adjustments didn't help for shit. So I solved what was wrong. And we tested putting everything together. We tested electronics. We tested other stuff. We painted the shell. And so how it went was I stayed the night on Friday. I woke up at went to bed at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, after working all night from like Friday night onwards. I woke up at like 2 p.m. Then did we work a bit? No, at that point we had finished painting the shell. No, we had not finished painting the shell. At that point, all the electronics and all the parts worked, and the shell needed to be painted and prepared. And we needed to do another test drive after making an adjustment to a piece that was like currently printing. And so I go home because the next day I have lunch with my grandmother, and I wanted to sleep in my own bed. And so I have lunch with my grandma, and I automatically drive all the way back to my friend's place. And then we get back to work. So we finish any lost technical adjustments that needed to be made. We test drove it with the shell on and everything, and it was working, and we were overjoyed. So we spent the entire night finishing off the painting of the monster truck shell. It was like 5 a.m., 6, 7 a.m. More testing, more trying. So again, we go to bed at like 8 a.m. in the morning. And we wake up at like 2 p.m. And at this point, the exam's the next day, by the way. It's Monday. The exam's the next day. It's on a Tuesday. And we still had to make all our documentation. So we drove to my place, monster truck and everything. We took product photos outside in the yard, the monster truck. And we needed to come to my place to do the documentation because we wanted to have renders of the truck for the presentation, which meant that I needed Substance Painter and Unreal, and my PC could run both of those powerfully. So we did that. Then we worked and we had dinner. I think we had like hot pot for dinner or something easy and quick that I could make, right? Just dump everything into a pot, eat. And we spent the entire night working on the documentation. We had to be there early on the Tuesday morning, so we didn't sleep. And I drove us with 0 hours of sleep to Kortrijk. Don't do this, kids. Please sleep if you're going to be driving the next day. So we go do the exam. The teachers are impressed, they're happy with us, we're proud. We found out while that weekend we were working, because our teammate said that he couldn't come by to help that weekend because he didn't help with any of the documentation or anything, right? He said he can't come by and help because he was taking care of his sick friend. And we get a message texted to us by one of our mutual acquaintances' friends. And he's at the Irish bar, and he's like, oh, you're never gonna guess who the fuck I just saw here. And he sends us a picture, and there's our teammate watching the soccer match that was happening that night at the Irish bar getting drunk. That sick friend didn't exist. We were pissed. We were so mad. I'm surprised he even passed because my friend and I both gave him an awful peer review because the man was shit. And it was so bad to the point where last year, this school year technically, like the previous one, the one that I just graduated from, he was in my team. No, he was in our startup team. And Cindy and I instantly sent an email to the teacher going, no, we refuse to work with him. We will not be able to work civilly. This is not a good fit. And he ended up getting booted off of our team into another person's team. I'm so glad about that. I hated the man with a passion. So I wanna put that monster truck in there because it's a really cool project. The next project I want to put in there is from a course we had called Strategic Industrial Design. And that was where you had to design with an eye on the future. So you had to look at trends. You had to then look about, okay, is this going to be a green thing? Is this about economics? Is this about legislations? Shit like that. And you had to predict where the gap in the market was going to be for the future. And after doing that, you had to start designing a product for that. And I worked with 3 other people, and I also had a lot of fun working with them. They were great teammates. And we ended up designing a smart system that would ventilate office spaces without the use of an HVAC system. So what is an HVAC system? It's like those large air conditioning units and ventilation systems you put into building nowadays, where you have like all of those aluminium, like those silver pipings that run along your ceilings and stuff like that. That's like unsightly, and it goes to like this big unit outside the building. And if you're installing it in an old building, you usually have to like drill out a hole or like knock out a wall and replace a wall and stuff like that. It's just really invasive, and it's awful for the environment. And it's just increasing because it's like it ain't getting colder outside, it's getting hotter, and people want more of those systems in every building. And it's so bad that we just ended up designing something based on like termite hills. So the great thing about termite hills is that they can keep the temperatures perfectly regulated and the ventilation perfectly regulated according to the tunnels that they make under the ground. So by aligning up tunnels, you're able to create this cooling effect. And so we kind of followed that premise too. Where an AI system analyzes the airflow in the room as well as temperatures, and you have your own control panel at your desk, so you can say, hey, I'm kind of cold here, I want it to be warmer, or it's kind of hot here, I want it to be cooler. And there's these floor to ceiling pillars that move around on wheels, and there's like a fabric divider between 2 poles, and that will move itself in a way that the poles will place themselves in a perfect way to like either like add a curved boundary or like a wall somewhere to improve airflow of the room, because one of the things it does is make sure that the airflow remains maximum. But also, like, if this person wants to be warmer or colder, the air vents that are on the pillars will either blow cold air or warm air depending on what you want. Now, the reason there are air vents in these pillars is not just for like heating and cooling, it's also to direct flow of air. So there's like this principle where if you blow out air, the air around it, because of drag, kind of comes along and you have like a bigger gust then. And it does that along the side of like those fabric dividers to pull more air along to also increase ventilation in the room. So it's like a really it thinks a lot about sustainability. It thinks a lot about future design, stuff like that. Which is one of the reasons why I want to put it in the portfolio. And the renders are gorgeous. Yorick did those, and he did such a fantastic job. And then the last project I want to add in there is my graduation work project, which is that intensive care bed I designed to sit patients upright. And that speaks for itself. It's a completely new concept. It's very focused on ergonomics. It's very focused on mechanical design. I had to calculate a lot of forces. I had to do a lot of math to calculate where the motors would best sit. I had to make sure it was comfortable, that the seating surfaces were the right size, that everything was being understood, supported to a proper degree. And that project was my pride and joy. I had so much fun at the graduation expo, just explaining it to people. And like, this is my prototype. I made it in 4 days. 5 days. 5 days. Which shouldn't be something to brag about, because it means poor planning on your part. But I just kind of got fucked over. Because imagine designing an entire fucking hospital bed in 3 months' time. Three months. That's not a lot of time. And normally 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Normally the internship company was supposed to make it, but production was too busy to be able to do so, which meant that I had to make it myself out of wood. Normally it was supposed to be made out of steel due to its durability and ability to handle heavy loads without buckling or bending. So my internship supervisor was like, hey Rika, you're gonna have to make the prototype yourself. We can supply you with a remote and the motors, but you need to tell us which motor you can. Well, actually no, it was you need to use. You have to tell us which motor you want to use for each thing. So I had a central column motor. I had a motor for the backrest. I had a motor for the feet. A motor for like tilting your head down and your feet up, and a motor for tilting you side to side. And they were like, well, we still have these 2 motors left over from previous prototyping. We can't get you any new motors, but if you can somehow implement these into your design, then you can use these for the prototype. So that's where all the math came in of like, okay, I need to be able to reach a 30-degree angle if I push it out all the way, and a negative 30-degree angle if I pull it in all the way. Where am I going to position this exactly to be able to do so? And I managed to integrate it. I managed to figure it out. I managed to do the math. And I ended up managing to make the prototype, because it was completely... I had been working in a 3D software for like 3 months to get this built. And in 3D I could see, okay, these parts would collide these sides, parts would like bonk against each other, stuff like that. And you need to like assemble these with these holes and stuff like that, and these bolts. And I had made technical drawings of everything, so that production could make the prototype. But since production couldn't make the prototype, I finalized more detailed technical drawings, like with everything working properly, the week before, like the week before the prototyping week. So I had like finished technical drawings, then had a week to make it, and then on that Monday we had to set up the expo with our prototype, and then the Tuesday we had to present it to an outside jury and an inside jury. So I finalized the technical drawings on the Friday, and I printed them all out, and they were all 100% correct. And I was like, okay, I need to get wooden plates of 8mm thick and wooden plates of 6mm thick. And I need a bulk of like about this size. And I managed to find one that was like perfect, but I needed a second one of different sizes that I couldn't find perfectly, but I managed to like use the planer in school to like take off 0.5 centimeter from one of the sides, because that was all that needed to be adjusted. And then in school, 1, 2, 3, in school, using like the table saw and the the little one you pull down, the circle saw. I cut everything to size, and then I sanded it down to be 0.millimeter correct, because the thing about this was accuracy was important. With production, they can get it down to, I think, the 0.001 accuracy, millimeter accuracy. So I got it to 0.01 accuracy. I think I managed to get it to like, not exactly 0.001, but I could get the 0.5 millimeters right and stuff like that. I was using a caliper as much as possible to get it as accurate as possible. And I laser cut the pieces that needed to be a laser cut, and I started screwing everything together, assembling, adding like little metal L brackets to add support on the connections. And it took me a few days of like the 3D printing some of the parts out of carbon fiber for optimal strength, using 2-part epoxy resin glue to glue those parts together perfectly. And then assembly, so much gluing, so much reinforcing. And eventually, after like a few days straight of working, I managed to have like the frame, the wooden parts of the frame built, and all that I had to do was add the electronics. So I headed to my internship company on the Friday, and I assembled everything in like the test corner. Production would like give me whatever bolts and extra things I needed, and my internship supervisor helped me attach some of the motors to like the heavier parts. And then he was like, okay, well, everything's assembled, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, let's go test it. And he grabs the remote, and I'm like holding my breath because it's the first time that everything was being tested. And it worked perfectly. It broke after the exam, but it worked perfectly until after the exam was done, and I'm thrilled about that. And I was so proud. And I had like the entire documentation for that ready and stuff like that. So just those 4 projects on my portfolio already shows like a wide range of skills and knowledge. And hopefully it will get me into more technical areas, because I want to be challenged like how the hospital bed challenged me. It was a pain, and I wanted to cry sometimes. I only cried once in that project, which, goddamn, that's a brand new record. But it was technically challenging. I always had a problem I had to solve, and had to be crafty about solving it, and I really enjoyed that. So I just want to do more technical challenges like that. No, but it is fun to find something you genuinely enjoy doing. And that's all I ever really wanted, was to find something I will genuinely enjoy doing, that I'm not gonna get bored with. I mean, getting bored with work happens, and it's not bad. As long as I'm doing something, as long as if it's a different problem to solve every time, I'm more than happy doing the same process over and over again, but for like different problems. But I want to do something I enjoy, and I want to live comfortably, and those are like my 2 asks. That's it. Traveling internationally would be fun. Like I was looking at some jobs today, and there was one that looked interesting. Not in the sector I want to work in, but it tickled my fancy. And one of the things was like, yeah, you have to be open to traveling internationally to like meet with clients or go to other branches and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, that seems like fun. Because I grew up internationally, moving around a lot. And the good thing about it now is that I wouldn't mind staying in one place. I also certainly would not mind traveling on a regular basis. I enjoy that. So I'm not picky on what I do. Especially I don't have a partner. So I don't have to worry about the fact of like, will they want to move with me? Will they not want to move with me? If they do want to move with me, will they able to move with me without losing out on anything? Stuff like that. So I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. Mind you, if there's someone who's like, oh yeah, I fuck that, I just want to move around and I can find a job anywhere with what I do, like a fucking pog, hell yeah. That would be fantastic. But for now it's nice. But we'll see if I end up working or if I end up doing my masters now. Admittedly, like, while I really don't want to continue studying, I wouldn't mind. That's a lie after saying I completely, I don't want to. I'll do it if there's genuinely nothing that I can find. And I'll do my best in it, and I'll get it, because that's just how my brain works. But admittedly, it would be kind of nice to have my masters, because my dad's on a bit of a pedestal in my head. He's human, but he did graduate with a bachelor's. I think he graduated with the same title I have, which I was like, damn, I wanted to have like a better title than he has, because it would be cool to be better than my dad. That's something that, at studies or something, that's something that he's good at. So having a master's would be pretty nice. It would get me more job opportunities. It would put me in a more desirable position. And I get bragging rights. Not towards anyone except my dad. And I don't think my dad would mind, because he's like, my kid has a master's. That's pretty awesome. So. Also, that was really loud, I'm sorry. Excitement took off. Ay. How much of this do I still have left? Quite a bit. I'm only on the other wall now. And I'm not even on like the second half of this wall. How long have I been blabbing? Ooh, almost 2 hours. That's funky. That's not what I would have expected. Yeah, every time that I'm like, oh, do I listen to Reddit stories? Do I blab? I probably shouldn't blab. I don't have much to blab about. And then, oh god, it's so far. Yeah, I think I'm gonna reach to like this half, and then I'll do the next half in another stream, because it's already been like an hour and 48 minutes. It is 1:30. I said my cutoff time was gonna be 1:30. I am currently putting in these endless windows in my library. But yes, the library. I need to change the floor. I absolutely hate it. But other than that, all the rest is fantastic. I just have to texture that area up there. So yeah. There is no outside. This is underneath my storage system. We are level the -6 here, but if you hit the floor, it is -37. But the outside in general is just my house. Like, there's a hole in the ceiling somewhere that I can take you through. There it is. No, I'm not gonna summon the wither. Yeah. So it expands a lot. This is not my house, by the way. This is my house. That's my little area. This is like a realm with other people. And I claim this area entirely to myself. My little inside. Very sloppy. Yeah. And then like if you go down here, you get like a little basement area where you have like a little smithing corner. And you get a little glance glare at the storage system. Slopey. Not sloppy. Oh, slopey. Slop. It's the chickens. Not that mean. Ah, I appreciate it. No, you have like an entire storage system filled with every block. Every block. It's insane. And the ceilings are all James Webb Telescope images. And you have like a little area. There's a command block up here to teleport to Badlands biome because it's really far. And I kept flying back and forth, and one of the admins was like, "Hey, I'll plop a little command block here for you that you can use." And you just go down using elevators. Another James Webb Telescope picture, more automatic storage. The lighting is unnatural right now because I have full bright on. Then you have the bottom floor of the storage system. Another James Webb Telescope image. Yeah, I miss him too. I say after talking to him today. I apparently already went to the creaking biome. I actually played games with him today, I think. And then the storage system, the library's down here, and I still have to build this entire area. But yeah, this entire area was dug out by hand, and I started building. This week. Yeah, there's like multiple shows going on, ain't there? Yeah, I started making like the entire bottom of this by hand, and then oh god, hell yeah, I hope that goes well. And then the admins were like, "Rico, do you just want to have creative mode? Because you're just standing at farms 99% of the time, not even building." And I was like, "Yeah, I want creative mode by hand, no free labor." So I think I made it like along this part. I think I almost finished completing the entire bottom floor. And I was just AFKing at farms constantly because I needed wood, I needed iron, I needed fucking leather for bookshelves. And it was insane. So they were like, "No, here, take creative mode." And I was like, "Yes, please, thank you." But the moment I'm done with this, I'm exiting creative mode, and I'm going to make a farm by hand because I've been playing on this realm since 2020 and I still don't have my own farm. Yep. But I'm planning on like adding a few more secret rooms to this area where you have to like take a book out of the bookshelf to then open up a passageway and stuff like that. So I still want to do that. And then once that is, I've been working on this build since last year, almost. It's almost been a year and a half now. It has been a year and a half now. And I work on it intermittently, but yeah, the ceiling, this. Yeah. The ceiling, entirely done by hand. All blocks gathered by hand. Ceiling entirely built by hand. That was when I first dug out like 2 layers of this area, and then I put in every block by hand, and then I started digging down. That ceiling is my pride and joy. It's the pillars of creation. Yeah. At one point I think I took a break because I wanted to build like a center. Arvid asked if we could have a central hub on the server. And I was like, can I build one out of creative mode? And in creative mode he's like, yeah, go ahead. So I built Antwerp Central Station, and it has an actual train track with command blocks, and you can press to go to everyone's bases. It's really cool. Oh, yeah, everyone's bases, the main people's bases. That's the central station. I built this completely from scratch. Hub Central Station. Someone's base was in the middle of like spawn, and I didn't want to destroy it because it's rude, so I just built around it. So you just have a random base here. You have everyone's like you can go to Thalia, Arvid, Magnus, May. You can go to the pagoda, or you can go to me. Because May likes to follow some tutorials and build like little landmarks around. So there's a temple behind the train station that she followed a tutorial for. That's Thalia's tower that she's currently building as her new base. And there should be a bit further down here. Yep, this temple. I think, yeah, I've been the only person playing on the server for like the last year or so. People sometimes join every now and then because they remember and they have like their 2-week phase. My 2-week phase has been lasting for a few years. Because there was a civilization being built here and then they stopped. Yeah. Someone was gonna build like a cool base up here, but they just put in the arches and then fucked off. So yeah, so this area has not been played in, and it's the newest area that got added. So yeah. And then at one point during the 2-week phase, May and Thalia liked playing creative, so we were going to build an amusement park together. And that ended up not being finished. I should poke them to continue that soon. I love the central station. There's like statues on the real one, and I used like statues with gold trim on the real one, and I used netherite armor with gold trim to replicate it. This is Magnus's trunk tower. This is one of the little villages. More tutorial builds May made. And we decided that these tutorial builds will try to like include it in the amusement park. So I built this little bridge. Archway to theme park, yeah, so we're gonna build like a big archway so it feels like theme park-ish. And this was gonna be like a villa, a high-end villa for like some of the people staying there, and it's gonna be like the info hall. And then we're gonna build like this entire area because there's a lot of space here that we can use into an amusement park. But literally we reached outlining this and starting on the pathways, and that's it. And that's Alex's base. He was planning on expanding it with more towers, but again, the 2-week phase ended. I'll see if I can like convince people to get back on and build for a bit. I've just been working underground the entire time since then. I made my base. My base got caught on fire. There's a pig bed up here because lightning struck it, so I added like the lightning rods now, and I had to rebuild most of the roof. But yeah. Now I'm just an underground boyo working on his library that he's gonna fill with actual books that he likes. Because he has 1,000,001 chiseled bookshelves. And he custom made this tree by hand. And the lake, everything. But yeah, this tree, I was proud of it. I never made a custom tree before, this is my first one. So I like how it ended up. It is almost 2 AM. I think I'm gonna say my cutoff time will be 2 AM. Although, I'm so close to like just finishing this little. Oh, okay, no, that's okay, no, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. I have an item waterfall here that I can like activate, but I have it off so that no lagging happens. Yeah, I've been working on this thing for the last 1.5 years. And some of the design ideas got inspired by... actually, I think this window is the only thing that's been inspired by people. I mean, the texturing of the bookshelves as well, because I saw someone using that ages ago and I decided to follow their lead, and it works really well. So yeah. No, but I'll continue for another 15 minutes, and once it hits 2 AM, I'm gonna head to bed. I like how I said at the beginning of the stream that I was only gonna keep it till like 1:30, which is like a total of 1 hour and 45 minutes stream, which is about how much I did last time. Soik. It's gonna be 2 hours and 15 minutes this time. I'm also gonna have to ask May and the rest if they want the drunk stream VOD posted on YouTube. They've been telling me to just automatically post everything, but people say questionable things sometimes, and I wish for them to check the VOD to make sure, hey, I'm okay with that questionable thing being posted online. Anything offensive is never said seriously. I'm talking about the tower jokes that were made. It's like the VODs are all fully available on Twitch for like a 2-week period. And it's been like 9 days, so I have to ask. Yeah. I've been watching a new show. Ah shit, I was gonna double check and see if From had any new seasons or not. I have to ask Thali if she wants to continue watching From. She was disturbed by it. I should not look as happy about that as I do. But I was watching a show on Amazon called Them, which is a horror series, but it leans very heavy into how awful racism can be, especially in the past. It was abhorrent. It's still horrible now, but it was like Compton in the 1980s, which was not good. And it was a whole boatload of interesting, but also a whole boatload of traumatizing as fuck. I will never be able to think of Cat in the Bag without thinking of a baby getting killed. It was, I sat there watching the scene, and my hand was over my mouth and my jaw was dropped, and I was just sitting there like, oh my god, who the fuck thought of this? It was horrible. I want this one nice in the middle there, and this one can go here. Try to have it somewhat even, you know. Yeah, I was debating on if I was going to stream or not today, but I want to have the windows done. Windows. I don't know, what else am I supposed to call them other than windows? They're technically windows into the void. I guess, yeah, the windows seems to be the closest thing. I also had the itch to stream Valorant, but it was already quite late, and I thought like a quiet, chill Minecraft stream would be better, because I've showered, I'm in my PJs, I have on comfy pajama pants. All I have to do after I press the end stream button is climb into bed and snuggle up. Sounds pretty good to me. If I would have been playing Valorant, I would have started at like 9:30 or something, which meant that I wouldn't have showered yet. I would have just finished eating dinner before then, or like talking to my parents. Which meant I would have like finished playing at midnight or 1 a.m. and I would have then showered and then climbed in bed. Which is not bad enough itself, but now it's like no effort. I don't have to worry about being entertaining, I just have to build and blab. Sorry, I'll have to into the mic. I was debating on like setting some conversation topics open on like the left side of my screen. Like in my left monitor, so I don't run out of things to blab about, but I have not hit that point yet. Speaking of like random topics, I'm a person who enjoys crafts and I like to try a lot of new things, and I've always wanted to try book binding, and I've already like not binded but made little booklets of like summaries for my courses that I study. And I've always scored like really good on those exams because it's forcing me to write down all the information again. Also, when I write it down, I repeat it out loud to myself. So I like get it in my head and then I memorize it that way. So I've been wanting to do book binding. And I'm also a big fan of like learning new things about anything and everything I can learn about. And I had debated for a while and I thought, hey, what if I just randomly generate a very random thing, and from there I just try to learn. From there I just try to learn everything I can about that topic and write like a little book about it and hand bind it. And then in the future, if my kids ever need like material to read or study for a class about something specific, and they're like, hey dad, do you have a book on this? I can just go, oh, look at the little library over there and see if there's a book I wrote and bound about it. I was like, oh, that would be cool, that would be fun to have. So that's still something I want to do. Just the fact that I can do like research and like actually do I cite sources then? Probably might write down a handwritten source list, because once an IB student, always an IB student. always thought that would be fun. Now at one point I'm scrolling through Instagram and there's like this group of gal pals and they're like, oh, we're having a wine and bookbinding night. I was like, oh, that's cute. And they're bookbinding their favorite fan fictions. And I find that so funny, but I really want to do that too now at some point. That's one of the funniest things about this library too. All these empty bookshelves, I'm gonna put my favorite books in there, but there's a lot of empty bookshelves, which means my favorite books ain't gonna fill that, which means I'm putting all my favorite fan fictions in there as well as books. And I'm gonna build like one of the secret rooms I'm building is a restricted area from like Harry Potter a bit. And all like the worst ones are gonna be hidden in there. And I think that's absolutely hilarious. So my dad was home at some point and he was on vacation visiting here with my mom, and he was looking at me while I was like building on Minecraft and I was building the library. He's like, so do you get anything out of building this? And I was like, I mean, no, not really, just satisfaction that I designed and built it. It's just something that I enjoy. It's just a little... I get bragging rights that I made it too, like, hey guys, you wanna see an awesome Minecraft build I make? Here you go. I just do Minecraft because I enjoy it, and I'm not expecting anything out of it. Although I did win a build competition once, which was really nice. Other than that, I don't expect anything out of it. Hell, holy shit, I built Sauron's tower. I forgot the name. It starts with an A. Server stuff, there it is. Baradur? Baradur. Yeah, Baradur. Oh, it was correct. I thought so. Oh, this is gonna be horrible. One of the, so because Buildcraft has started being a thing, I want to make the forge from Baldur's Gate 3 in Minecraft. That one I will do with creative mode. But I really want to make it. Why? Because it's cool and I want to see if I can. That's it. That's my main thing for building things. Oh, that would be nice. Yoink. Let me put it in here and see if it works. Guys, I think either after this one or the next row, I will be calling it a night though. It is 1:57 a.m. I'll try to do like a chill stream every month. Maybe twice a month, we'll see. But I do want to stream on a weekly basis, which I haven't been doing. I mean, okay, the last time I streamed was 9 days ago, so I guess is a tiny bit on a weekly basis. But me. I know I've always said, oh, I'll try to find like a set day every week, and it used to be like every Tuesday, but the schedules have changed a bit, so it's been harder to get the gang for gaming. So I don't think those gaming nights will be happening anymore for a little while at least. But I will still be streaming on a regular basis because I enjoy it. I will also miss you guys too much if I don't. And where else will I blab around about random shit? it's trash day tomorrow. Every other week it's trash day on a Wednesday morning. And I took the trash out. And I looked up and it was a little bit cloudy, so you can see many stars, but I did see one really bright speck moving across the sky, and I was like, hey, holy shit, that's the International Space Station. That's awesome. And I also saw a massive fucking grasshopper. He was big. His length was like the size of my palm to my middle finger. He was a big boyo. And I was like, I could pick him up, but I didn't want to spook him. Because at some point, pardon me, I went out bowling with my friends, which is something I really enjoy doing. I love bowling. I went bowling with my friends, and I had parked at my campus. And next to my campus, before you like exit the parking onto the road, there's like a pond to the left, and that pond is always filled with frogs. So I was trying to like drive that little pathway up to go onto the road, and I have to stop because there's a frog in the middle of the pathway, and I don't want to run him over. He's like perfectly in the middle, so I could technically drive over him and not kill him, but I don't know if he'd move in panic of the car and then get squished. So I like stop my car, put it in neutral, pull up the handbrake, leave the engine running, step out of my car, go towards the frog, pick him up, put him in the pond, and then skedaddle again. The poor thing was terrified. He was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And I'm just like apologizing to it constantly while I'm like moving him. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Baba, I know you're terrified. I just want to move you. I don't want to kill you with my car. So he got deposited to safety, and then I drove home. I think, yeah, the next day I was also leaving on vacation, so I was like, I wanted to be home as soon as possible so I could shower and go to bed, because I had to wake up early to catch the train. But I actively still just took time out of my evening to just move a frog because I didn't want to run him over. But I'm so close to the end here anyways. Yeah, let's just do these last two anyways. That way next time I stream it's just the other half to go. And probably after that I'll probably end the stream, and then the stream after that will be the reading nooks and the gaps in the bookcases, and depending on how quickly that goes, I might even try to figure out what I'm gonna do for the texturing of the observation platform walls. Originally I was not supposed to have an observation platform there, but it turns out that my build started encroaching. Like I could technically just seal off that little access way, but honestly having like a little vantage point up here to look down, pretty cool, pretty neat, quite like. Although right now, because of the observation platform, the gradients of those are a little weaker than I'd like them to be. Tricky. What the f- That was so loud, I'm so sorry. I forget that when you're in creative mode you go into the portal real fast. I was not expecting that sheer amount of fucking slimes. Oh, sorry, Cozy Quiet Building. Cozy Quiet Building. Jesus Christ. I could actually just seal off that area and expand those things higher up, and then I don't have to worry about the walls. no, but having this little divide is actually really nice. Okay. And that's just how it's been the entire library long. I didn't have a pre-plan. I just went, okay, I want a big space to have. No, okay, so I was doing the James Webb Telescope picture ceilings for like the storage system, and I went, man, I would really love to have a Pillars of Creation, because that's my favorite James Webb Telescope picture ceiling. And I went, well, what the fuck am I gonna, okay, so I put it into like a pixel maker, like one that tells you like what block to put where, and the quality was shit, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to make it a little bigger than I expected it to, and I kept trying, and eventually I was like, okay, yeah, 200 block width is perfect, and gets like the right amount of detail I want. So I'm just gonna start building the ceiling. So I built the ceiling, and then I went, I'm gonna have to go quite deep to be able to look at the ceiling in its full effect. So I just dug out the space then. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I dug out the space, and then I reached like the depth it's at now. And I looked up and I went, okay, so now I have this giant space with a really cool dark ceiling. What would fit perfect here? And at that point, I think I started seeing more stuff about dark academia and all of that. And I thought, ooh, it would be cool if this were like a dark, cozy library. So I started looking up reference images of real life libraries and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I kind of like the libraries that have like the pillars and bookcases and stuff like that. And then I started fiddling around with designs, and I found that I really like that design. Like this current design of like, there's always, and I like the liminal space. I don't know what it's called, but I like the effect of that, where it just looks like it's unending. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I decided after those pillars, I'm gonna like put a bunch of bookshelves, and I'll do the library that way. And I like that, and I was like, you know what, this place is big, I'm gonna add another floor. And then I did that 4 times. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, 4 floors would be nice. I don't want any more than 4 floors, so I'm gonna see what I can do for the rest. And then I saw this video on Instagram where this person made gradient windows like these, and I went, ooh, I quite like the look of that. That would fit the library perfectly. And for a while I had like only 3, and I tested the colors and I couldn't find one I liked. And I had also made like little reading nooks, and I didn't know what to theme the reading nooks, like what color, so eventually I just went, you know what, there's 4 reading nooks, there's 4 Hogwarts houses, let's do Hogwarts house themed reading nooks. And from there, Thalia was like, hey, why don't you just divide up those, like the gradient windows also by the Hogwarts colors? And I went, yeah, that's actually a really good idea, let's do that. Because it was going to be one color, or like the rainbow gradient, but the rainbow didn't feel right, and I tried dark colors and that didn't feel right either, and it was just a pain. So when Thalia suggested that, I did a little test run, and I found I really liked the way it looked. I'm gonna turn off full bright. And then it got like effects like this, which I quite liked. And I went, yeah, okay, let's keep those. So, alright, I'm gonna call it a night there, because we're halfway done now with the windows. And I don't fancy playing another 2.5 hours to complete the rest. I want to go to bed. lay down. I really need to make an ending soon screen. Alright then. I wish you guys a good night. Thank you for joining. I hope you had a good time. Whoever's watching the VOD, I hope you're having a good day. Good night.